My wife always said her work husband was just a joke. I thought it was harmless. Until he sent her flowers on our anniversary with a card that said, "One day, he'll slip up. I'll be here when he does." I asked her about it. She said, "Don't be so insecure." So I sent him a gift too, a framed photo of me holding her wedding ring. On the back, I wrote, "She slipped first." I didn't sleep that night. She came out of the shower humming, smelling like that vanilla body wash she always used. She kissed my cheek and asked if I was ready for dinner. I said yeah. I smiled. I even helped her pick out shoes. The whole time I was just watching her, trying to see something on her face. A flinch. Guilt. Anything. But she was calm. Like nothing happened. Like that card didn't mean anything. We went to a nice place downtown, Curate, her favorite Spanish restaurant. She ordered sangria and patatas bravas like she always did. She laughed at the waiter's jokes. She leaned in when she talked. She touched my hand across the table. If someone watched us, they'd think we were just another happy couple on their anniversary. But in my head, I was playing that sentence over and over. One day he'll slip up. I'll be here when he does. Who says that? And what woman keeps that card? I asked her once, halfway through dinner, why she didn't throw it away. She said, "It was just stupid. I didn't want to make it a thing. It's not worth fighting over." I nodded. I didn't push. I paid the check. We went to the inn. She wore the necklace I gave her to bed. We had sex. I remember that part so clearly, because as it was happening, all I could think about was him. Brian. If she looked at him like she used to look at me. If they already did this. If he touched her first. She noticed I wasn't fully present and said, "What's wrong?" I lied. Just tired. That morning, after she left for work, I went to the closet and took the little box we kept our wedding stuff in. Photos, the vow cards we wrote, a pressed flower from her bouquet. I pulled out her ring box. I stared at it for a while. Then I took mine off. I walked out to the backyard, sat on the steps, and took a photo of my hand holding her wedding ring. I stared at that picture for an hour. I went to CVS and printed it. Just one copy. For buy 6, no filters. I found a plain black frame at the dollar store. Then I flipped it over, took out the back panel, and wrote in thick, black marker, "She slipped first." I used her home office printer to print out Brian's work address. Sent it FedEx. Overnight. No return name. She didn't mention anything the next day. But the day after that, she came home silent. Didn't hug me. Didn't kiss me. Didn't ask about dinner. Just went straight to the bathroom and locked the door. 10 minutes later, she came out and stood in the hallway holding the photo. I guess Brian showed her. Her hands were shaking. "What the hell is this?" I shrugged. "You said he was joking." "So I sent him a joke." "That's not funny," she said, voice cracking. I didn't smile. Neither was the card. "You're acting crazy," she snapped. "This is crazy. Do you realize that?" I stood up. "You're right. It is. You getting flowers on our anniversary from another man? A man you've clearly been entertaining for years?" "Yeah, that's pretty fucking crazy." She threw the picture frame at the floor. It shattered. "I never cheated on you," she hissed. I didn't say anything. I just stared at her. I wanted her to say something real. Admit something. Show anything that felt honest. But she just stood there, chest rising and falling, full of rage, and maybe fear too. "You're insane," she whispered. "You're paranoid and insecure." Insecure, I repeated. Right. Because trusting my wife not to have an emotional affair with a coworker makes me the crazy one. "You don't have proof," she said, arms crossed. That's when I realized something. She hadn't denied the emotional part. I nodded. "You're right. I don't." Then I walked to our room, opened the drawer, and took out the little manila envelope where I'd stuffed every printed text I could find. Screenshots I'd taken from the iPad that synced to her phone. Messages between them I had copied over the past few months. Ones I didn't even fully read until that night. I dropped them on the table. "You left your iMessages synced to the iPad last month," I said. I saw more than I ever wanted to. She didn't move. "You told him I don't understand you anymore," I said. "You told him you wished you'd met him first. That's some nights, when I roll over in bed, you wish it was him." Still, she stood frozen. "You sent him a photo. In lingerie. On my birthday. When I was in Atlanta for work." Now she moved. She turned around and walked out the front door. No coat. No purse. Just walked. She didn't come back that night. She didn't come back that night. I didn't call her. I didn't text. I sat on the couch in the dark with a glass of bourbon and the TV off. The house felt empty, but not in a peaceful way. More like something important had been ripped out and dragged down the street. The next morning, her car was gone from the driveway. I checked the spare keys. Gone too. I figured she must have come back while I was asleep and grabbed her things. No note. No explanation. By 10 a.m., I got a text. Just one line. I need space. Staying with my sister. Don't contact me. Her sister, Dana, lived 2 hours away in Winston-Salem. We hadn't seen her in months. Not since a weird Thanksgiving where Claire kept disappearing into the guest room to check work emails. I remember Dana looking at her like she knew something. Like she wanted to say something, but didn't. I replied, "You want space? Fine. But I'm not playing dumb anymore." No answer. 2 days passed. Silence. Then Brian reached out. He messaged me on Facebook. Not a comment, an actual DM. "I don't know what kind of sick game you're playing, man. Leave Claire alone. She deserves better than this psycho stalker shit." I stared at that message for a long time. Then I replied, "Did she tell you I have your messages? Want me to send them to your girlfriend?" He didn't respond right away. But I knew from Claire's text that Brian was in a committed relationship with a woman named Alyssa. Lived with her. Had for 3 years. So I found Alyssa on Instagram. Took me about 20 minutes. I sent her a message. Told her she might want to talk to Brian. Attached 2 screenshots. One of Claire's lingerie selfie with "Wish you were here" underneath, and one where Brian said, "He doesn't even realize he's already lost you." Alyssa read the message but didn't reply. The next morning, Claire blew up my phone. 10 missed calls. For texts in a row. How could you? You ruined everything. You crossed a line. You're a fucking child. I didn't answer. I was tired of talking. Tired of explaining why betrayal wasn't a two-way street just because she didn't technically sleep with him. Then, a few hours later, Dana showed up at my front door. She looked pissed. I opened the door slowly. "Let me guess," I said. "You're here to yell at me." "No," she said. "I'm here to tell you that you're not crazy." That stopped me cold. She walked in without asking, dropped her purse on the counter, and looked around like she expected Claire to pop out from a corner. "She's not here," I said. "Hasn't been." "I know," Dana said. "She's been crying at my place for 2 days straight. Keeps saying you ruined her life." "But I read the messages." I raised an eyebrow. "She left her phone open," Dana said. "She was asleep. I saw everything. I took screenshots. Sent them to myself. I'll forward them to you." I was stunned. "Why would you do that?" "Because I'm sick of watching her destroy everything and call it a mistake." She paused, then said something I wasn't ready for. "She's done this before." My stomach dropped. "Wait, what?" Dana nodded. "You remember when she took that work trip to Portland 3 years ago? Said she was at a conference?" I nodded slowly. She wasn't. She was with some guy from her old job. It didn't last, but I found out. Told her if she ever did something like that again, I'd tell you. I leaned against the wall. My chest felt tight. "You should have told me," I whispered. "I should have," Dana agreed. "I thought she'd stop. I thought you guys were happy again." I didn't know what to say. For once, there were too many things running through my head to land on one. All those nights, all those little moments that didn't feel right, they weren't just paranoia. They were pieces of something bigger, something real. I looked at Dana. "What now?" She took a deep breath. "That's up to you. But if you want my advice, make this hurt." I nodded. Not because I wanted to be cruel, but because for the first time, I didn't feel guilty about standing up for myself. Dana kept her word. That night, she sent me 27 screenshots. Some were new to me. Most I hadn't seen. One stood out. It was from 6 weeks before our anniversary. Claire sent it to Brian at 11:42 p.m., right after we'd gotten back from my nephew's birthday dinner. "I can't keep pretending. Every time he touches me, I picture you." Brian replied. "So stop pretending. Leave him." Claire didn't answer that one. Not that night. Another was even worse. It was a video. Just a short clip. Her in a towel, wet hair, blowing a kiss to the camera, and saying, "Can't sleep without hearing your voice." The timestamp? Our 10th anniversary. 1 year ago. That was the trip to Charleston. I remember the hotel. The fancy dinner. The champagne. I remember her laughing in the tub while I ordered dessert. She must have sent that video while I was in the lobby grabbing it. Everything just dropped into place. All the nights she picked a fight before bed. All the last-minute work texts that pulled her out of the room. All the times she said she was just tired. It wasn't a one-time thing. It wasn't harmless flirting. This had been going on for years. And the part that burned the most? She still tried to make me feel crazy. Like I was the problem. The next day, I went to the hospital where she worked. I wasn't there to cause a scene. I just wanted to look him in the eye. Brian was thinner than I expected. Buzz cut. Too many bracelets. Looked like the kind of guy who calls himself an empath after ghosting someone. I waited by the parking deck until he came out. Brian, I called. He turned, saw me, and froze. His eyes darted like a deer in traffic. I just want a minute, I said. Calm. Steady. He stepped back. You can't be here, man. This is harassment. I laughed once. You sent flowers to my wife. On our anniversary. With a threat written in cursive. I think we passed harassment a long time ago. He straightened up, puffed out his chest. She's not your wife anymore. She's leaving you. Not yet, I said. But thanks for confirming that's the plan. His face fell. I took a step closer. Did she tell you she cheated on me in Portland too? Different guy. Different lie. But same pattern. He didn't answer. I kept going. You think you're different. You think you're the one she really wants. But give it time. You'll be the old joke soon enough. Then I dropped a manila envelope at his feet. Screenshots. In case you ever doubt what you were to her. A backup. A side piece. An excuse. I walked away before he could say anything else. That night, Claire showed up at the house. I didn't open the door right away. I watched her from the hallway window. She looked small. No makeup. Hoodie. Hair tied back. After 5 minutes of standing there, she sat on the porch. I finally stepped out. You win, she said. I didn't respond. I lost everything, she said. Brian's gone. Dana won't talk to me. My boss pulled me off 2 projects because apparently word got around the office. I said nothing. She looked up at me. Are you happy now? I stayed quiet. Then finally said, no, I'm not happy, but I'm awake. She wiped her eyes. So that's it. 11 years, and I'm just garbage now. No, I said. You were my wife. You were my everything. But you threw that away, piece by piece. She opened her mouth to argue, but I held up a hand. Don't tell me it wasn't physical, I said. Don't insult what's left of my intelligence. She looked down. Why did you do it? I asked. Her voice cracked. I don't know. I felt invisible. You stopped noticing things. I wanted to feel wanted. I nodded. And instead of talking to me, you turned to the guy who sends flowers with threats on our anniversary. She didn't answer. I turned and walked back inside. Left her on the porch. Didn't lock the door. Didn't slam it. Just closed it. She didn't leave the porch that night. I heard her crying through the window. Soft at first. Then louder. The kind of crying that sounds like it comes from your ribs, not your throat. I didn't go out. I didn't comfort her. I'd done that for years ill. So many times I'd lost count. This time, she could sit with it. Feel it. Know what she did without someone cushioning the fall. Around 4 a.m., she finally left. A week passed. Then the papers went out. I filed for divorce. No waiting. No therapy. No trial separation. I told the lawyer everything, gave them copies of the messages, the screenshots, even the video. In North Carolina, fault still matters in divorce if it's bad enough. And emotional affairs, especially ones with proof like that, can tip the scale. I didn't just want out. I wanted it on the record. I wanted her lies, her excuses, her smirks, all of it, to mean something when the hammer dropped. She called me when the papers arrived. This is war? She asked. No, I said. This is truth. You're trying to ruin my life. You ruined it. I'm just clearing the wreckage. She hung up. 3 months later, I saw her at the courthouse. She looked rough, hollowed out. Her hair had grown out, dull and flat. No makeup. Nervous hands. She didn't look like the woman I married. And maybe she never was. We sat through the hearing. My lawyer laid out everything. Her texts. The lies. The timeline. Her lawyer tried to claim it wasn't an affair. Just per judgment, he said. The judge looked unimpressed. In the end, I got the house. I kept my retirement. She got her car and a few thousand in personal savings. No spousal support. Not after what she pulled. The judge made it clear that she was the one who broke the trust first. When the gavel came down, she didn't cry. She didn't speak. Just sat there frozen, like she didn't recognize what had just happened. I walked out of the courtroom alone. And for the first time in years, I felt light. But the best part? A month after the divorce was final, I got a message on LinkedIn. From a name I didn't recognize at first. Alyssa Green, Brian's girlfriend. She'd left him, took their dog, their apartment, half his savings. Turns out, he had been juggling 3 women, not just Claire. Alyssa found them all, and she let the other 2 know, too. She thanked me for sending the screenshots. I thought I was the only one, she wrote. Turns out we were all placeholders. Brian, from what I heard, left the hospital job after the HR mess hit full swing. They found out he'd sent a sexually suggestive email to a 3rd coworker. Claire wasn't the first or the last. He was quietly let go. As for Claire, last I heard, she moved back in with her parents. She'd applied for some smaller admin jobs, but hadn't landed anything steady. Her reputation in the local healthcare system was shaky now. Word spreads fast in tight circles. Dana and I talk sometimes. Not about Claire, just life stuff. She apologized again. Said she should have warned me sooner. I told her I forgave her. She was stuck in a hard place too. I've started dating again. Slowly. I'm not in a rush. I don't trust easily, but I'm learning. And every time I start to feel that familiar ache, that voice that says maybe I overreacted, maybe I was too hard on her, I remember that card. One day, he'll slip up. I'll be here when he does. Well, she was right about one thing. Someone slipped. But it wasn't me.